Parrot TV, the voice for humanity.
Hi, welcome to the New York Parrot Literary Corner. I am your host and anchor, Dustin Pickering. Today, we have Joanna Svensson, who is a Swedish poet, a writer, and has been writing and publishing her works since her early teens. As a poet, she has at present 8 books of poetry, of which The 7 Colors of My Life is published in the USA, and De Sve Fargana El Live in Sweden in Swedish in 2009 and 2020, and its Arabic version published in Sweden in June of 2021. Zaz Bazdat, published in Polish in 2019. Longing is a poetry collection in 2 parts, published in 2007 and 2008. As a writer, she has published 2 large fiction novels, The Secret of the Medallion and The Key to Heaven, in a trilogy. The third one, On the Other Side of the Door, is ready for publishing in 2021. Beside a new poetry collection, Beyond the Tears of Rain, 2 other projects are in progress at the moment: a collection of 10 short stories, Behind the Green Curtain, and a children's book illustrated by her husband, Parrot, who is a professional translator, graphic designer, and illustrator. He's also joining us on the program. Fluent in 3 languages, she writes in Swedish, German, and Polish. Her husband translates all her work to English. He is a member of the Sverigines for Davos Forbund for Centrum Sid and the Society of Polish Writers Living Abroad. Has participated in several anthologies over the years and achieved many acknowledgments for her prose and poetry. Her books are available at Svenska Akademikhandeln, at Bokas, and at the Royal Library in Stockholm, and several other libraries in Sweden and Poland. In 2019, she was awarded first prize at the Bucharest International Festival of Literature for her first novel, The Secret of the Medallion, which is now being translated into English. She's also very active in both Swedish and Polish literary society and participates in several international prose and poetry festivals around the world. So thank you very much for joining us today. This is a wonderful show we have for creative minds, and we will definitely have an interesting conversation. And so my first question for Joanna is, what are your writing habits like, and how does Sweden support their artists socially and economically?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'll answer her question. She says, I have always had a pad with squared sheets and a couple of newly sharpened pencils at hand. The squares are somewhat magical to me. I can't explain why, but thoughts and ideas can appear from anywhere at any time, and words just come to me. So my truly greatest inspirational source is nature. In the universe, everything seems to be so logically structured, and it's made out by unwritten laws. In my work, I also use a dictaphone. My husband also helps me out when I, for example, wake up in the middle of the night, starts recitating a poem. And he often says that my skills are somewhat unique because when I start recitating a vista, I almost always create the whole poem with very few adjustments afterwards. I get the words from above. They are just there for me, she says. And you asked how Sweden supports their poets and writers socially and economically. Yes?
Yes.
Yes. Well, that's a very tough question to answer because there are many poets and writers in Sweden, many gifted but unknown, and some well-known but still having hard time to make ends meet. So in Sweden, you can't make an honest living out of being a writer. Joanna is more famous in other parts of the world than she is in Sweden. She is a member of the Swedish Author Society and other literary organizations, but no one gives her the golden apple for free, so she just have to be a fighter to get somewhere. despite the fact that you may be famous in other parts of the world, doesn't mean that you have it easy in Sweden.
Men sen är det svenska en väldigt liten språk.
Swedish is a very small language
Så där,
in the world. So she writes in English. Her friend in Stockholm, Lennart Svan, he said that why do you write in Swedish when English is such a much larger language? So that's why she translates her poems and her books to English to find a bigger audience, so to speak.
That's an interesting story behind that. So when did you find that you were passionate about writing, and what were your earliest writing inspiration?
Ja, jag har alltid varit inspirerad när jag redan, allt som finns runt om, naturen, omgivning, människor, livet.
She says, it comes with my breast milk. I was very little when I found out that I loved poetry and stories. Her family gathered around the open fire and the kerosene lamp and in the evenings, and they recitated stories and poems to each other. So I guess she got it from there.
Och medaljonens hemlighet, boken blev till på stories som jag hört talas om när jag var väldigt liten upprepade gånger.
The first novel, the story, the secret of the medallion, came about based on stories that she heard when she was very little.
Och det har materialiserat sig under årets lopp.
It had materialized over the years, this story, so it has grown and become more mature, so to speak.
Men även det jag tog mig friheten att göra slutet, det jag hittade på, blev verklighet på riktigt när jag flyttade till Tyskland.
Yeah, that's a strange thing, because she makes up an ending for the book, and after that the ending becomes real.
That's an interesting. So
yes,
starting with the ending.
yes.
Ja,
Well,
som mina vänner säger, jag ska alltid göra bra slut.
yes. Her friends often tell her to make good endings, because bad endings will come through too.
Hände på riktigt.
They
Yeah.
will happen.
Want to be careful about creating a scenario there.
Yes, exactly.
So
does this answer your question?
yes, that's a very good answer. That gives us some insight into the creative process. So my next question is, how valuable are the arts to Swedish culture?
How valuable are the arts to Swedish culture? Hur värdefull är konsten för den svenska kulturen?
Ja, det är så svårt att säga egentligen. Alltså jag tror att det har varit bättre förr. Som vi sa, det finns utställningar. Men det är inte på samma sätt som det var förut. Folk tycker jag är mycket mer hemma på något sätt.
Earlier, when we didn't have the internet and we didn't have the television and so forth, people visited exhibitions, and they valued art much more than they do nowadays, I think. So, but it seems that the best paid authors in Sweden are those who write thrillers, and those, of course, who write cookbooks.
Inredningsböcker.
Yeah. So I think that Sweden is a little bit cold country, so to speak, when you speak of culture.
Jag saknade att träffas bara och läsa och diskutera som bokklubb till exempel. Det är väldigt segt. Jag försökte starta här också på egen hand, men
Yes,
det gick
you did.
inte.
She says that the cultural saloons are very, very few in Sweden. We have a very long country. It's 210 miles long, but we also have Stockholm, and it's 700 kilometers from where we live. So you don't go there on an afternoon, if you like that.
No,
So the distances makes people, well, the distance makes the people not meet each other as much as they should. And in Stockholm, where the cultural elite lives, they don't let in everyone in that elite. We have tried it.
men vi har ju Malmö,
But we have a close town called Malmö.
Copenhagen,
In Copenhagen, we have just a few miles
norra
from here,
Tyskland,
north of Germany. And
över
so living in the south of Sweden is good in a way that you are nearer to the rest of the continent.
Oh, that's interesting, and it's disappointing that they're so closed off culturally, like letting new people come in to Stockholm and whatnot. So the next question would be, in your poem, When Darkness Falls, you declare the power of words to live. And I'm questioning, my question is, why did you choose the title When Darkness Falls?
Varför valde vi den? Jag ska hämta en laddarsladd.
Yeah.
I must find the cable to the telephone, so she'll have to answer the question. One moment, please.
Ja. My English is this Per. I'm sorry.
It's
Just
quite
a
all
moment.
right.
Just
good.
a moment, please.
We're good. I'll do a little, I'll talk about the show a little bit. This is the
Okay,
Parrot
okay.
Literary Corner. So to our viewers out there, please subscribe. We have excellent programming, and we're looking for 1 million subscribers to our channel. We will hope to achieve this after a year's worth of programming. And if anybody out there would like to donate to our program, paypal.me/nyparrot. If you'd like to be a guest on the program, please feel free to contact me at literarycorner@newyorkparrot.com. There we will be in touch. Let me know when you want to work with us, and we'll work in a date. And there, we're the only show and the best show to provide a platform for creative minds across the globe. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. When Darkness Falls?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you'd like to read it in Swedish as well, you can read the poem if you want in Swedish as well. We'll do English maybe afterwards.
Har du det?
Jag har den, men varför den inte är här, det förstår jag inte. Du kan läsa Tidens urmakare.
Ja, på svenska.
Ja, Tidens
Säg att jag kan läsa.
She will now read The Clockmaker of Time
Okay.
in Swedish.
In Swedish.
Excellent.
It's okay?
Yes. Yes.
Tidens och ljusets urmakare har visat mig vår livets tid på horisontens urtavla. Jag såg intensivt ljus där, ett ljus som strålade så stark av energi. Ett ljus som ledde till en annan parallell värld. Tidens och ljusets urmakare visade tidens urtavla. Så såg han att min tid var inte inne ännu. Kände ingen rädsla, kände ingen ångest för det okända. Det kändes tryggt på något sätt att veta att när min tid är inne, då tidens urmakare kommer att leda mig dit. Dit där min nya tid väntar, tiden som är förprogrammerat i det slutna livets cirkel. Den energi inte försvinner i det tomma intet utan förvandlas till en annan energi. Har du det på engelska?
Den har jag på
Wonderful.
engelska. Yes.
Kan du läsa den på engelska? Den.
Yes, I can.
Such bright books behind you there. So many books. Wonderful
Well,
golden books.
there are about 6,000 of them.
Wow. Beautiful.
Writers and poets from all over the world.
I have a similar collection, but not, I don't think it's 6,000.
It's a habit. It has been a habit for a long time.
Right.
In Sweden, they throw books away now.
Wow. Wow.
Yes, they do. There is a strange thing. I visited Disney World, and when it came to the haunted house, there was lots of Swedish books. Yes.
Wow.
Strange as it seems. Selma Lagerlöf and Albert Engström and all of these guys. Okay, the clockmaker of time.
English.
Yes. The clockmaker of time, the clockmaker of light, has shown me my lifetime on the clock face of the horizon. I saw an intense light shining oh so bright, a light that sparkled with energy so strong and bright, a light that led to another parallel world. The clockmaker of time and light showed me the clock face of time. And that's when he saw that my time was not due. I felt no anxiety. I did feel no pain. I did feel no fear for the unknown. I felt so secure in a way just to know that when my time has come, the clockmaker of time will take me and lead me there. There where my new time is waiting, there that is always pre-planned, in the closed unit circuit of time, where energy just doesn't vanish into thin air, transforms into higher energy. Oh, I am so thankful for just having seen my all bright new picture of life. I am so thankful for having been shown just what awaits me there.
Thank you. It's a very scientific poem. Lovely. I've really enjoyed that. So thank you for sharing that one.
Thank you. If you like to hear When Darkness Falls, I have found it.
Okay.
but we can leave that if you like.
Yes, please do read that one.
Okay, shall I? Okay. When darkness falls around our peaceful, quiet home in Svenstorp, that's when enchantment begins. That's when the magic of words awakens and gets filled with the essence of life and gets filled with the meaning of sense. All that great poets and all great writers come forth out of their own great works. They are all so curious to see what has passed after all these years of leather bindings, after all these years of print. No one says a single word, but all do understand that the power of words still lives today, that the word's magic has every tempest survived, beyond all timely borders, beyond all earthly events. One by one, they take their seats around our round oak table in our warm and cozy library. I hear them chat continuously in the dimmed light of the paraffin lamps. I feel the power of life embodied in written words, so living, so strong, yet today, so vivid, so fresh in every way. So therefore, poets will, so therefore writers will, forever live for always, for out of all future, They cherish great strength through every written word, through every letter's splendor. That through the most magical words has become great poetry. That through the most magical words has become great prose. Everything can happen, and it happens very often. In our snug and cozy home in Svensson, when darkness sweeps the evening in its calm and peaceful womb, when you allow your fantasy to flow intensively and widen your horizons beyond borders of what's real. And then they come from the other side of the light, from the other side of time, the ones you've long time longed and wished for. Now they come to visit you. End of story.
Wonderful. That's very exciting poem.
Thank you. It's my wife's.
Right. Of course. Very talented. So in your poetry, is love something that happens through fate? A lot of poems deal with love that I've read, or is love something that unfolds through time?
What do you say?
No.
Är kärleken någonting som kommer av ödet, eller är det någonting som byggs på successivt?
Jag vill säga att kärleken kommer från ödet, alltså det öde som stör, men man kan störa sin öde eftersom man har fått fri vilja i sina händer.
She says that love is destined by faith, but you can predict what you want to happen.
Du kan förvalta kärleken, du kan störa den.
You can take care of love and make it grow, or you can
Förgöra det också.
you can destroy it too if you don't care.
That's a fascinating philosophy. I've never heard that before. So thank you for sharing that. And so another question is, how does a social network of friends and other artists encourage you?
Hur uppmuntras det av att ha ett nätverk av vänner och kollegor?
Alltså, det känns bra. Alltså, jag är mycket aktiv när det är så emellanåt. Och det är jätteviktigt att ge stöd varandra, läsa andras dikter, men jag är ändå individualist. Jag läser gärna vad andra skriver och har inga åsikter om andras dikter eftersom var och en tänker på sitt eget sätt. Och vi är ändå så olika, och det är det som är viktigt att behålla sin egen identitet och kännetecken och skriva på viss eget stil.
She says that it's of great importance to exchange thoughts and contacts and read each other's poets and prose and to stay alert and to be able to inform each other of actual events and coming releases. So even if she's a great individualist, she guesses that others are that too. So the social network is of utmost importance to her.
Absolutely, and that's an interesting phrase there, that utmost individualist, but others also are utmost individualist. I like that. And, you know, that's a very wise statement, I guess you could say.
Well, it must be like this because if you're not an individualist, you write like everyone else, and no one will read you.
Right. Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We all have our unique styles and our own voice, and that's part of the process, is bringing that out. So I'm curious, how has the pandemic affected your creative output?
Hur har pandemin påverkat ditt utbud?
Det har påverkat med förstärk detta vad jag redan visste innan och berättat för andra att man tar inte för givet att jag lever idag, att livet är till låns, att vi är här och nu för en viss tid. och ta vara på livet istället för att slösa bort tiden.
She says that she has realized that we are much more vulnerable than we think. And you can't take anything for granted. So life is the sole most important thing you own. It has inflicted her poetry, like in The Clockmaker of Time that we just read. All cultural events and book festivals were cancelled during 2020. So her source of inspiration got even more of her. The last year, she has written over 940 yet unpublished poems. So they are,
Du måste
yes,
översätta.
they are not even translated into English yet. So I have a lot to do. I like that.
Excellent.
There are 24 hours a day, so it will work.
So what plans do you have for future creative works? Things that have not quite been, ideas that you've not quite committed yet.
Vad har du för tankar och planer på framtida arbeten?
Jag tänker fortsätta som jag gör och framförallt slutföra boken, alltså den trilogi, den tredje delen på andra sidan dörren. Och novellerna som jag håller på. Det är en novellsamling som berör kvinnors händelse, alltså berättelser som jag har samlat i Tyskland, i Sverige, men även i Polen.
She says that
jag bodde i 20 år i Tyskland.
She has collected short stories in Germany where she has been living for 23 years. So in the nearest future, her collection of poetry, The Seven Colors of My Life, first published in New York by Rose Books in 2019, is now being published by Same Publications in Sweden, and it's published in Arabic. And then she wants to, yes, it will come now, it will be published now in the beginning of June, I guess.
Okay.
Yes. And then she is about to publish 2 collections of Swedish poetry, and she's almost ready with the manuscript of a new collection of novels, that one I mentioned before. The third part of her thick trilogy, The Last Page of the Diary, is now under production. She's collecting important material for building the basic story. And then she is constantly invited by authors in different parts of the world to be part of anthologies, like the Postmodern Voices of India, for example. So in Bangla and in India, she is very famous at the moment. And then she hopes to get finally a sponsor or a scholarship to translate her first and second book of the trilogy from Polish to English. So,
what a lot of translations going there.
Vi har fått en, men den har försagt.
Yes, we have one translator from Polish to English, but it has taken too long, and she always claims that she's sick or she has pains and other well,
right,
not so good. So we have put that on ice, so to speak.
Vi har försökt få stipendium i Sveriges författarförbund, olika fonder och stipendier.
Yes.
Men
we are seeking scholarships in Sweden, but it's very hard, as I told you earlier. It's very tough to get money or scholarships in Sweden.
Right. So we have a remaining, about 5 or 6 minutes. So if there's anything you'd like to impart to your fellow artists out there, or give a few, thank yous to friends, family, people who've supported and encouraged you, then we have a little time for that.
Vill du berätta att du är tacksam för att du har blivit författare? Vill du hälsa till några?
Ja, jag är mycket tacksam för det, speciellt till min mormor Helena. Och min mor och alla mina vänner och mina syskon. Och min dotter Helena och min son Martin som är stora fans av mig.
She's very thankful for having had such a lovely family in Poland, for her grandmother Helena and her mother Jajo and her father, and she is very thankful for having had two such lovely children as Martin and Helena. So she likes to greet them because they support her in her authorship very much.
Thank you.
Very positive.
That's wonderful. It's great to have supportive family. You want to try reading another poem in Swedish? I think we have time.
Okay.
Hämta.
Rita Rosen.
Ja.
The Parrot, New York Parrot Literary Corner. We have some wonderful guests from Sweden here, and they're going to read some poetry in Swedish for us.
Do we have time for the English version after?
I think so, yes.
Yeah. Okay, shoot.
Den vita rosen. Det finns många vita rosor här i världen. Det finns många som har härlig doft. Många av dem har fångat min blick, men väldigt få har berört mitt hjärta så stark och så intensiv med sin subtila doft. Doften, så genomsyrande orden som blev till dikt. Dikten som berör alla känslor som är vacker, alla sinnen i sinnen. När jag ser den vita rosen blöda med kärlekens röda tårar, då vill jag gömma mig i mina egna dikter, där alla symboler talar sin rena språk, klara språk. Där alla känslor får blomma upp för den vita rosens skull. Det finns många vita rosor i världen, men bara en som berör mitt hjärta med sin oskuldsfulla vita färg.
So in English, the white rose. There are many bright roses in the world. There are many who have a strong and lovely smell. Many of them have caught my eye, but very few have touched my heart. So strong and intense with its fragrance of subtle, the fragrance that penetrate the words that become a poem. The poem that touches all feelings and the feelings that awakens all senses. When I see the white rose bleeding with the red tears of love, that's when I want to hide myself in my own poems, where all symbols speaks their clear and direct language, where all feelings can bloom for the sake of the white rose. Yes, there are many white roses in the world, but only one that can deeply touch my heart with its innocent white color.
Wow, it's very symbolic, but it's also direct in the way it presents itself. So that's an excellent poem. I really like that. It has a very mystical quality to it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I enjoyed listening to both the Swedish and the English versions. And thank you very much for joining us on the program. I really enjoyed listening to the answers, as well as asking questions and getting an idea of culture in Sweden and your own creative mind. So it's just fascinating how different people think, and learning about different minds. So it's just been really great talking with you, and we'll go ahead and close the show out. And I just want to say you got a wonderful and quirky mind. I love it. There's so much fascinating aspects to your poetry. So it's been wonderful talking to you. And this has been a great edition of the Parrot. And we've talked with Joanna Svensson from Sweden, and her husband Pear, and we're the New York Parrot Literary Corner. And so if you have not subscribed quite yet, there's still time. Please do subscribe. We're looking for 1 million subscribers in the next year. So everybody out there who's watching the program, and feel free to leave us comments. We want to hear what you have to say about our programming and what people have been saying to us, and what the programming has represented to you, and what you have to say about in general what you've heard. So also contact us if you're out there and if you're in doubt right now about whether or not you want to contact us. Now is the time. We need you right now at Literary Corner at newyorkparrot.com, and we will be more than happy to put you on the program. We're looking for more subscribers. We're looking for more guests, and of course donations at paypal.me/nyparrot. And so if you're out there and you need a platform, you want to promote your work, you want to talk about literature and the arts, you have an intellect of a mind, a curious mind, you have something to offer that you think is not being heard quite so much, get in touch with us. We're providing a global platform. So I want to thank everyone out there again who's paying attention and who's watching us, as well as Joanna and her husband for joining us today on the program. Thank you very much. It's been wonderful, absolutely wonderful.
We would like to say on behalf of my wife, it's been very great to be on your program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Very welcome. Anytime we can help you guys out. I'm also a publisher with Transcendent Zero Press. So if you have some extra poems,
okay,
go with it. Just send me some stuff. I will see if I can fit it into our journal next summer.
We do that.
So,
we do that. Yes.
Yes, we've talked to some Swedish people today. Tomorrow it's another part of the world. So tune in, keep an eye on us, and thank you very much to our listeners and viewers. And thank you again to Joanna and Pierre. And we'll talk soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.